Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think he could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.
This is the Dan Levator Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Number one podcast. When Mike Ryan checks. On Wednesday mornings. The best in the land.
That is routinely true. We are often number one sports podcast in America on Wednesday mornings when Mike Ryan checks. That's a thing that is absolutely true.
These are just facts.
That is not false advertising. Since we're playing music, though, can you get me the Polka Nakua that was me just saying Puka Nakua incorrectly one time and then you guys deciding to make a Polka Nakua song?
Dan calling Puka Nakua, Polka Nakua, and nobody on the show catching him on it.
We need to get in the lab. All right, Hee-Haw 3, you have been tasked with making the Polka Nakua.
I want to talk to you guys for a second about precision. Puka, the rest of you doesn't have to get open. Just your hands. Just get Puka's hands open. It doesn't have to be the rest of him. Just where his hands are. Where are Puka's hands open? Just get the hands open. The rest of him doesn't have to be open. We're going to do this super precise.
It's all right, Dan. That's a little too much. Poking Deion Sanders' toes. And if you say they just need Puka's hands open for a fourth time this show, we're stopping you.
Penalty box.
Puka Nakua. Puka Nakua. Puka for you and me. Puka Nakua is here for you and me. With that we can all agree. So many receptions mean Kimes had the perception that he could become the MVP. We should all anticipate this cause he's got precision, greatness echoing throughout eternity. Sanford throws a frozen rope in and if Puka's hands are open, it's a touchdown for you and me. Everybody do the Puka Polka. His quarterback is not named Tagovailoa. So come along now, rise and shout to the whole world about Nakua for you and me.
Jason Benetti is wincing, and
Yeah, he was bobbing along.
He was dancing.
No, he was dancing.
He loves it.
No,
he loves the Kenosha Kickers.
He felt like it had some promise, and then it didn't. And he is the guest that we have more than any other that I imagine polka is in the bedroom. More than any other guest that we have on the show, I believe him to be a polka lover. Do I have this wrong, Jason Benetti? And thank you for joining us.
So, first of all, how many key changes are in the Polka Nakua? I counted 12.
Take your word for it, pal.
Yeah, you were listening.
It was like living on a prayer, the third halfway there, but it happened like 4 times in a row. It was awesome. When the Pennsylvania polka played in Groundhog Day, little Jason Benetti liked that very much. Yes.
You thought that song had promise at the start. You were smiling, you were joyous, and then it went on about 30 seconds longer than you wanted it to.
I was waiting for the mispronunciations. They should be featured in the actual piece more, I feel like.
I don't understand what's happening right now. This song is excellent. Dan just didn't like it because it sees on echoing throughout eternity Puka's hands being
Puka's
open,
hands.
and another shoehorn reference to the Miami Dolphins quarterback for some reason.
I love that.
I mean,
Yet he
No,
crushed
that
it.
was the best part. The Tagovailoa kind of rhyming. That was like, remember when the kid did the update at Ball State and it went viral and he was like, Reggie Miller looking good because it was the one guy he knew showed up on the screen.
Boom goes the
That's
Dynamite.
Yeah, the boom goes the dynamite guy. But at one point, he finds his footing and he's like, Reggie Miller looking good. And then like Hakeem Warwick shows up and he calls him Hakim Warwick and the wheels fall off again. That's what the Tagovailoa shoehorn felt like. It was great.
It's the second time we've done it, and I just think it's so weak to rhyme it with Tagovailoa by just saying that that's not his quarterback. Like it's just
That's the joke.
It's not the correct way to do that.
Dan, we get it. He's no Gus Polinski. He's trying, though.
Jason Benetti is doing all the games. He is doing baseball games. He is doing football games. He's doing college football games. It's Texas Tech this weekend for you? Like you're doing
Texas.
So you're watching the World Series, though, right? You're not like so busy preparing for college football that you segue. You're still interested in everything that's happening with the World Series, right?
Absolutely. I can't say that I made it through 18 innings, but I rewatched the other day. I fell asleep at like midnight. It was not good. It was not good baseball fan behavior, I'll tell you that much. But I think I'm the first person to go from Manhattan, New York to Manhattan, Kansas, back to Manhattan, New York in a week.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not a great situation. These small college towns can't be funny. You can't get in here easily, can you?
I hold in my hand my Jason Benetti baseball card. Revoked.
What?
Revoked. You fell asleep?
Whoa!
You fell asleep? How? Were you not filled with adrenaline and intrigue and mystery on who was going to win this epic baseball game?
What a movie trailer that was. I would say I had enough intrigue and heartrending behavior when the Tigers got knocked out in a 15-inning game that I was watching in Lubbock, Texas. And I was like, you know what? I'll catch up tomorrow. I'm so sorry. Like, really, apologies. But what if the story was somebody drugged me as part of a bank heist that I witnessed, and then they knocked me out so I couldn't watch the end of the game? Is that better?
Go on.
Yeah, that is slightly better. Even you'd concede that much, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like I could get my baseball card back if I said that, you know, like that I just couldn't stay up for some nefarious reason, right? Maybe I was part of the Louvre heist.
Can we segue here into something that I'm shocked by? I'm shocked that Chris Cody has never heard "Boom Goes the Dynamite." He doesn't know what it is.
What?
He doesn't know anything about what "Boom Goes the Dynamite" is. He doesn't understand the reference. So we'll get the video here in a second to play it for him, because if you get secondhand embarrassment for people, you will get some second. Look at Benetti. He is shocked that Chris Cody doesn't know what this is. So we'll play it for Chris Cody in a second. But I want to talk to you for a second about what we witnessed before you fell asleep and after you fell asleep in that 18-inning game. Yesterday we were talking, and I don't think we're prisoner of the moment, to say that we're watching Babe Ruth in real time against 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. We're watching the modern-day Babe Ruth. But where would you go if I said that Shohei Ohtani is the single greatest athlete that we have ever seen? Now, we have not seen LeBron James or Shaq as a tight end, for example. I imagine they would be great tight ends, and I imagine if they played both sports, they would be great at both sports. But Shohei is doing two different things in a sport that only one other guy has done reasonably well. I guess you could say Rick Ankiel, but there aren't many who have done it in a Ruthian fashion. There are only two. So where do you land as an observer of sport on Shohei Ohtani possibly being the best athlete that there's ever been?
Yeah, it's like my mind goes to like Jim Brown, Jim Thorpe. There are a couple others that you could argue did otherworldly things kind of like this. But to watch him, there was a number floating around of his power to the pull side and his power to the opposite field and center field, and they're both in the top 5. Like, not only is he a great pitcher and a great hitter, but he's great at very specific things within those two that people don't do either, right? Like, he's very willing to hit a ball out of the strike zone to create problems for people. There are all these micro reasons that he is one of the greatest ever, if not the greatest ever. But where my mind goes, honestly, Dan, is like, what if in the next 40 years we're at the vanguard? I'm certain we are watching college baseball and how players are trying to do it, right? But what if there are more of these? Like, what if we just have not engineered them well enough? And I sound like an AI inventor type right now, and I don't mean to. But like, what if there are ways to create this and study him and do more of that? Like, what is the end run of all of this? Or is he the only person, because of the way he's built, because of genetics, because of his musculature, like all this stuff? What if he is truly the only one? And my answer to your question, kind of long-winded, but my answer to your question is, I think we'll find out at the end of this trial period, however long it lasts, where people invariably are going to try to recreate it. And if they can't, then I would say definitely, decidedly, he's the best ever.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, because I believe the Dodgers and that roster are uniquely qualified to win at postseason baseball. I believe it's the best roster ever assembled, even though they didn't win more games than everyone during the regular season. And I believe they're built for this time of year. Can I plausibly say that if the Blue Jays beat them, a team that won more games during the regular season than the Dodgers, that it will be one of the biggest upsets in the history of baseball?
Yeah, it's so hard to because of the Blue Jays win total, but I don't know how good the American League was this year, but that's not taking anything away from that. Like, I'm going to answer this question agnostically from the taking away from the Blue Jays. I think so too. I agree with you on the Dodgers roster. And I think it showed specifically in that 18-inning game, the way they construct a bullpen and the arm angles and their ability to get a loaded lineup out, even though there were some pinch hitters that came in and they're missing a couple guys late in that game. Like, I do think it is a really substantial upset. And the Blue Jays, I think, are very, very good. It's a deep lineup. Like, Shane Bieber pitched his tail off yesterday. They made some very savvy moves around the edges of the deadline to make themselves better. But I have thought all year the Dodgers are the best team in baseball, and it's not particularly close in the depth they have.
Am I overreacting when I say, am I being prisoner of the moment when I say, I have never seen, I know it's all Shohei Ohtani all the time, but I have never seen a postseason in which a player consistently hits the ball harder more often than Vladimir Guerrero?
Yeah, man, every time the Tigers play them and every time the White Sox played them when I was there, it was like 115 mile an hour scud missile. And then like Alejandro Kirk comes up and he hits a ball that's 2 balls off the plate into right field. He is just a mammoth human being. But I do want to double back because you said prisoner of the moment twice. And I wonder if the moment is the bailiff, or is it a prison of the moment? Is it like a pop-up shop prison? The prison of the moment is a visual to me that I think somebody should explore.
The moment is a sheriff, and he locks me up immediately when I say anything is the best I've ever seen when it happened 6 minutes ago. And that's
so the moment comes over to you and is like, hands up, varmint. Right? The moment is doing it. You're not going to a prison of the moment.
No, it is a moment that comes over, handcuffs me, roughs me up, plays by its own rules, and throws me immediately in a prison that is government run.
Frontier moment justice. I love it.
Vlad Guerrero, though, is getting overshadowed because he's hitting the ball hard every time, Jason. Like, it is just totally insane. I understand why we're talking about Shohei Ohtani, but Vladimir Guerrero, your Tigers were really good. The Mariners were really good. The pitching is really good, and he's hitting everything hard.
Yeah, the thing about him is, and I've heard people say this about like Yordan Alvarez, and for a while this year, we looked it up when the Blue Jays were in town. Alejandro Kirk was the best bad ball hitter in baseball. This has been a good bad ball hitting lineup, and I say that because Guerrero takes pitches that are off the plate well, but he also is very willing to smartly expand the zone. And so if you're a ball and a half off the plate, he still can hurt you. Now, it's the first connection people make is to his dad, right? Hitting the ball off the ground for a base hit, that iconic picture. But like, part of this is their lineup is geared to that. And they are a very concentrated lineup of hitters who can do damage on baseballs off the plate. And I think that's part of where this comes about is we hear like John Schneider gets asked the questions about Ohtani, right? Are you going to walk Ohtani? They walk him a bunch of times, whatever. If you unintentionally try to intentionally walk Vlad Guerrero Jr., he can beat you on your misses. And I think that's the real problem. And then pitchers feel that tension. And then those middle pitches, he rarely, if ever, misses.
It is crazy. He's one of the best play-by-play announcers anywhere in sports. He's the television voice of the Detroit Tigers, and you can hear him on Fox calling college football, basketball, and NFL games. I want to play the game with you that we did last time where I just throw out a handful of things and you give me your first thought, okay? You do this on your social media. You post a picture of a ballpark or stadium on socials and you ask first person that you think of. So, Blue Jays, first person that you think of.
Joe Carter.
Dallas Cowboys, first person that you think of.
Emmitt Smith.
Fighting Irish, first person that you think of.
Tony Roberts, their longtime play-by-play announcer who I listened to as a kid.
Dodger Stadium.
Can it be Dodger Dogs? Vin Scully.
Whoa, that was offensive as a broadcaster that you went Dodger Dogs first before Vin Scully, the greatest to ever do what you do.
But that's the fun part of first person you think of. It could have been it could have been Raul Ibanez. Like I don't know. It's just whatever pops into my tortured mind.
Yeah, the funny thing is when you eat Dodger Dogs, you get hot shit, hot foul.
Mike Ryan here. Want to talk to you about the official ticketing partner of the Dan Le Batard Show, Game Time. That's right. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to fans. It's a hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use. I use it often, and the Game Time guarantee means that you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included. So what you see is what you pay. They're not tricking you, folks. Zone deals, favorites, panoramic seat views, the low price guarantee, their unparalleled ticket coverage, which means your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. I can go on and on. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
You ever try to name all your financial accounts and what they're actually worth, like your 401k, your investments, your house? Yeah, I couldn't either. Most of us can't. And when you don't know, you're basically leaving money on the table. Feel organized and confident in your finances with Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year with code DAN at monarch.com. I started using Monarch and I found an old 401k from an old job that I totally forgot about, and it was worth way more than I thought. I also realized I wasn't saving as much as I imagined. Monarch shows you everything, your spending, your investments, even how much cash is just sitting there doing nothing. No spreadsheets, no chaos, just a clear view of your money. You can share with your partner too, which means fewer fights about who spent what at Target and how much the baby actually needs. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code DAN at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DAN.
Oh, the football season. Cruel beast. Sometimes it gives, sometimes it rips away, sometimes you got good times, sometimes you got bad times. But one thing that'll always lift your spirit is making it Miller time. Because game day just hits different with Miller Lite in your hand. 50 years of great taste, simple ingredients, and that iconic golden color that you can spot from across the room. It's a real eye catcher, folks. And here's the kicker. Just 96 calories. 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. The original light beer since 1975 and still hitting different 5 decades later. So, whatever your game day looks like, remember Miller time is always a good time. Miller Lite. Great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Dan Le Batard.
Can I tell you something? I don't know, it was maybe like a month ago. And I decided to watch Pitch Clock. And I told Jeremy,
Stugotz.
This is a good show you're doing.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Benetti, true or false? I'm not saying that there are dozens of players that can do what Shohei's doing. I'm saying, are there dozens of players around the league who are reaching out to their agents saying, hey, I'm a good pitcher, I can hit too? Like, do you think he's inspiring other players that think they can do what he's doing?
I think at this moment in time, every pitcher thinks they can hit. And I think some hitters think they can pitch. But, like when you get into the 13th inning in a regular season game, we should always cut to the dugout because there's a line of pitchers saying, I'm good, I got this. Like, put me in, I'll double to left field. Like, every pitcher thinks they can hit. What is going on in the background? There's like a lot of shenanigans.
We had a rule
happening.
play down at first base. We had to check with the umpire.
Bullshit.
Zazzle, what do you have for Benetti? Quit distracting Benetti. I'm trying to do a show here.
I asked Boog Shambi last year, why can't more players do what Ohtani's doing? And, meaning like hit
Pick
and
that name
throw.
up off the ground, pal.
And Boog got mad at me.
What did Boog say? He's like, you don't watch baseball, do you?
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good Boog he does. We haven't done the impersonations with Benetti in a while. Can we talk to Boog about his Cubs? I'd like to talk to Boog about his.
I got Dan Bingo.
Yeah, it was Counts and I were talking, and they just got to do better, They just got to do better.
When we mentioned Dodger Stadium, I thought of this the other day. Usually, I have heard some people hit a ball, a home run out of a ballpark. Shohei Ohtani hit a ball out of the stadium. It's not something I'd seen before at Dodger Stadium. I can get my head around hitting a ball out of a ballpark, but that's not a ballpark. That is a stadium. Have you seen a ball hit out of Dodger Stadium before?
Never. No. Watching that baseball, these stadiums give you so much frame of reference because we watch and we see so many things happen inside of them. So immediately you go like, nope, never in a million years. I mean, I did the home run derby at Dodger Stadium a couple years ago and don't remember a ball leaving the ballpark. So yeah, no.
That's insane.
Well, but I've just
home run derby.
But I've never seen it. The Dodger Stadium. I don't think do people understand how cavernous that is? Like, you don't hit a baseball out of Dodger Stadium.
He did that, and it might not have even been in the best game that he played during this postseason. And we're asking whether or not there's other guys that could do it.
Yeah, why not?
It's like hitting a ball to a different neighborhood. It's like it's like a different point on the map is what that is.
Who have you talked to that can put context on what it is that we say beyond unbelievable or amazing or Ruthian or anything else? Like when you talk to somebody, Jason, and they explain to you the mystical magic of what it is that you're presently watching, this giant from another land doing things that have never been done in this sport before, what is the context where you're like, that person, they gave me some insight here that illuminated this for me? Because baseball people are confused by this as we are, right?
Yeah, I don't know that anything involving context does anything other than make him more of a unicorn, I guess. I mean, the one where my mind goes when you say that, because I can't remember like a conversation that crystallized it, but like, you remember a couple years ago, the Angels opened against the White Sox on Sunday Night Baseball, and Ohtani hit a home run off of Dylan Cease, I want to say. And this is the thing that sticks out most to me. Ohtani hit a home run off of Dylan Cease, and there was a news item the next couple days. ESPN had to come back and refute a report that they jacked up the microphones in order to make Ohtani's homer louder. The ball is such cannon fire off of his bat that networks are being asked if they juiced the microphone. And that is one of those things that has stuck with me and is etched into my mind because it sounded like a Revolutionary War reenactment when he hit the home run. And people were like, did you mess with this? Like, was that artificial? And they're like, what are you talking about?
When it comes to Ohtani and you hear things like that, you realize the freakishness of who this athlete is. But Jason, like, there's been so many other random things about this World Series that have been so fun, whether it's a guy like Will Klein throwing 4 innings in extra innings, or Bo Bichette coming back and being able to hit, for a 400 average in his first 3 games after not playing for a month. What's kind of one of the random things that you look at that's like niche baseball within this series that has stood out to you that you've enjoyed outside of the obvious in Ohtani and Guerrero?
When you're awake, when you're not sleeping.
Yeah, that's
during
true.
It.
Yeah, no. That's a really good point. The Will Klein stuff is fascinating to me because I just love that he has enough of a sense of humor to say in his press conference, because he's like the anointed hero now. Like, yeah, that's the opposite of how they felt about me before. Like, I appreciate somebody that gets that. I think that's the fun part of World Series is that baseball moments in the regular season just kind of fizzle over time. Like, if I asked you all, like, what happened, if I asked you, like, what happened in the Marlins in this game in June, like, you'd be like, I don't know. But like Will Klein's going to eat for free at some high-end restaurants for a long time, and that's the fun part of the randomness, is that baseball is so unrandom in the regular season that now it just gets exacerbated in the postseason.
I don't know about this.
I don't mean
Will
eat
Klein?
for free forever. I mean,
He didn't say forever.
he's
just
gonna have
said
to walk
a
in and
while.
say, "Okay, here's
For
the
a while.
context. I'm Klein. I did this."
No, Chris, he's going to have to come in uniform with a baseball, throwing it, and on his phone replaying the highlights.
Wearing his jersey?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
He's
in
going to
uniform.
have to call. He's going to have somebody call for him and say, Will Klein would like to come to your restaurant.
I'm sorry,
He
who?
threw 4 innings. Don't worry. Well, you run a restaurant? Is there a Dan Levitard show restaurant?
He runs
What
a
would be on the
restaurant, and
menu?
all they do is interrupt the customers. That's all they
Yeah,
do.
sorry, we're closed for a private event.
Sorry, I decline.
Oh, wow. It's the end of the world as we know.
Miguel Rojas was very close to pitching in that 18-inning game.
Oh, God, it would have been so awesome. They warmed up Yamamoto, but they could have gone to Rojas.
There should be a nuclear treaty. Like when the headset doesn't work for one coach in football, they turn off the other headset. If one team runs out of pitchers, like, you should have one inning where you can use a regular pitcher, but if you don't score in the inning against the actual non-pitcher, then your team should have to use a non-pitcher too, for the ignominy of not getting a run against that guy.
Jason, what do you make that people are complaining after last night that baseball should do away with the intentional walk?
People need to get a hobby. Just get a hobby instead of complaining about stuff that actually works fine. Like let him walk him to first. Do you know what it does to the ability to score runs when there's a base runner on first, especially as the leadoff man? Like, you probably should get runs because of it. You're probably going to score. So it's a tactical piece of baseball. And like, think of how many times we talk about Barry Bonds getting intentionally walked with the bases loaded. Like, it's a piece of strategy. I got no problem with it. That's like saying, like, why do those bishops only move diagonally? I hate that. Let them move in an L shape like the Knights. Like, come on, man. If you want to, go play checkers then. Go play checkers.
Yes. That is as indignant as this decent, kind man gets when he just tells you to go play. That is his, you bleep off. That's how he does it.
Go play Chutes and Ladders. If you want a basic game, go play Chutes and Ladders. It's fine. Or get a little mallet and play Don't Break the Ice. Like, whatever you want to do, just don't play baseball then.
Where is this Scooble trade talk coming from?
Everywhere, it feels like. I mean, it's all up. It's all the contract situation, right? Like, and his agent and all of these things. And I have no idea, and I don't even know that the Tigers know what they're going to do staunchly of what Scooble is going to be in a year. All I know is, like, that guy is a top 5 player I've covered to watch emotionally and just theater wise. And it would be really hard to see him in another uniform.
He better not be a Dodger. I'm threatening you.
Because the Dodger dogs are Vin Scully.
I am threatening you personally. If Scooble becomes a Dodger, I'm
If you let that happen, Benetti.
I'm going to have to harm you. I'm going to have to chop off one of your arms and beat you with it. Okay?
It's time for a restraining order from Dan Le Batard.
Dan Le Batard.
Punctuate this segment with what is your strike 3 call.
Well, strike 1 would be strike, and then you stand up and you give a good point to the right.
Stugotz.
That's same for strike 2. But strike 3, you get down low, you got your hands behind the catcher. All right, the right arm goes up into the air. Yeah, and then you finish it with the punch. The right arm flings way up into the air. Yeah, yeah. And you finish
I
with
wish
like a
I could
karate
see that.
chop.
It's terrible. The audio's
Like,
great.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We have some Boom Goes the Dynamite video
yes.
to introduce to Chris Cody. I'm told the video is not great, and we had to shorten it here. So this, Chris, I'm telling you that this is a college broadcast that probably lasted 8 or 9 minutes. We are not playing all of it for you because the video is bad. I mean, what do you have here for us?
So the actual clip is 4 minutes long. It's a lot of stumbling. It's hilarious, but obviously we can't play a 4-minute clip, so I decided to zero in on just the part that Jason mentioned earlier.
It's his first time ever doing a sports he was like a last-minute fill-in.
It's a college broadcast. He's doing a highlight package.
I believe it's a college broadcaster doing a legitimate newscast.
Like a local newscast?
Yeah.
You think this is a local newscast? I thought this was...
No, it's at Ball State.
I think it's a college thing.
Yeah, I thought it was a college broadcast, and you will hear his nerves. Let's go ahead and play this.
Missing his 13th consecutive game. Up shot by Miller. Out of bounds.
Reggie Miller's looking good. He shoots a 3, and it's good. Later, he gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the Dynamite. The final scores ended up with the Pacers 63 to the Nets 61.
Passes to the man.
Now, I love that the video starts with the ambient sound of the highlights in the background, and I know everyone's going to leave like, did we get the wrong video? No, that's him nervously breathing because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and then he finally sees it's Reggie Miller and says, ooh, looking good.
That is the best. That is the sneaky best part of the video because he literally has no idea what to say. He's shuffling his papers in his full, absolute 5-alarm panic. And he's like, oh, God, I've finally seen somebody that I know. And like, it's Reggie Miller. And then he's looking good. And this dude feels great about it. And then there's sadly another highlight. So he says he passes to the man.
And boom goes the Dynamite.
Let's play it again because he had boom goes the Dynamite. He had that loaded up to make sure that he was going to nail it on the broadcast. But the entire thing is 4 minutes that is absolutely worth your time. It's the sound of a broadcaster drowning.
Missing his 13th consecutive game. Up shot by Miller. Out of bounds.
Reggie Miller's looking good. He shoots a 3, and it's good. Later, he gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the Dynamite. The final scores ended up with the Pacers 63 to the Nets 61.
Can we acknowledge the final score was 63-61?
Oh, 2000s basketball so much better. I don't know what these guys don't defend anymore. That was a real score.
That was the real score? The Miami Heat had 74 points at the half yesterday.
And boom goes the Dynamite.
And they're the Heat.
Chris, you got to go back and watch the whole thing. Like it's the original viral video before things were viral.
You were saying, Benetti?
Can we talk about the sigh? When's the last time you sighed in the middle of a live broadcast?
It's because he knew he was drowning. Let one more time just play it so you can hear the shuffling of papers, the general panic, and because if you're in the audio audience, you can't see the video. He's trailing the highlights by about 7 seconds.
Missing his 13th consecutive game. Up shot by Miller. Out of bounds.
Reggie Miller's looking good. He shoots a 3, and it's good.
Feet clearly inside the arc.
Quickly by 9.
Later, he gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite. The final scores ended up with the Pacers 63 to the Nets 61.
That can't be right. That's not the final score. There's no way he got the final score wrong. Look, man, they didn't play games in the 50s that were 63-61. That is simply inaccurate.
Why would you think he got something wrong?
There's no There's just no way that was the final score of that game. Benetti, always good talking to you. Thank you for making the time, as you always do, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Final score was 98-91, New Jersey Nets.
It was, for some reason, we believed that a game in the 90s would have finished 63-61. And I believe there were some Heat-Knicks playoffs games that were pretty close to ending in the 70s.
Those are the days.
There was a finals game. Jazz Bulls that was like 61-57.
No, I think the Jazz were in the 50s that game.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Bulls won by like 40.
Yeah, but it wasn't both teams having. It wasn't both. Okay. It is fairly absurd that all of us in here would think that the Pacers and then the New Jersey Nets would have played a 63-61 game in our lifetime.
I'm giving the broadcaster credit. Why would he have gotten it wrong?
See if you guys can find for me and whether or not it would be worth to play any more of the Boom Goes the Dynamite.
Yes.
Because, Chris, it was delightful to be able to share that with you. I was indeed surprised that is not something that you had any reference point for because so you'd never heard the expression Boom Goes the Dynamite before.
I had heard it, but I thought it was like more of like a professional, boom goes the dynamite. Like
I'm so excited that you get to experience this clip now for the first time. The kid ended up going on Letterman. Now, granted, Letterman's a Ball State grad as well, so there was a connection, but it was, I said, it was viral before things were viral.
Zaz, correct me if I'm wrong. He says boom goes the dynamite several times, right? He goes back to it like as a crutch almost.
Because it was really working.
And it became a thing, like Kevin Calabro, the all-time great Seattle Supersonics broadcaster, he then began using it in his broadcast as an ode to the kid.
Also, the Cleveland show and Family Guy, Cleveland Brown, when he has sex, he goes, and boom goes the dynamite.
I read something really funny during that Benetti interview that I think I'm going to surprise all of you with. I read a detail. It was an article about Brian Kelly, and there was a detail that emerged from that. Brian Kelly, this offseason, entering this season, worked with an image consultant.
No! I was confused by a couple of the different details on that. Did you understand, Mike, in some of the reporting where he was told to fire his offensive coordinator, and then, according to the reporting, he said, and I also want to fire my offensive line coach. He was not allowed to fire his offensive line coach, and then the athletic director stormed out of the building, and the reporting is that Kelly was using the leverage of his buyout, or trying to use the leverage of his buyout. Why wouldn't Brian Kelly just also, why would he want to fire someone else, and that be the sticking point on whether he keeps his job or not? Usually you get to make the threat of, no, I'm going to protect my guy. You can't fire this guy, but this was the opposite of that. This was Brian Kelly saying, no, I'll fire somebody else. I was confused by that detail.
I think the answer is because he's an asshole.
Well, judges, Roy?
Exhibited the behavior of an asshole. What is that?
No. He went on asshole, Roy. No,
Roy,
bit.
You're arguing with the umpire?
Roy, you're out.
Roy, you know what, Roy?
What are we doing?
Roy, you're
Angel, what's his name over here?
Roy is incorrect.
Angel Hernandez didn't see the asshole strike zone.
No, Roy, let's see. We've got to get Roy out of
Wide
here.
strike zone.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes. Sport came out of your mouth.
It still came out of your mouth. I can smell it from here.
If we're going to appeal, we got to go with what he says. Like, what are we doing?
We challenged. I do find it funny. It does seem like the ultimate Brian Kelly move to leverage his own buyout.
Is the report true? I saw a report that when he showed up to the facility in the morning, his thumbprint didn't work anymore on the door. Could that be true?
Sometimes those things just don't work, right? It's like, I can't get it.
I saw like a photo that made me happy. It would make you sad otherwise, but it was him eating alone in a booth at a restaurant in Baton Rouge, and I was like, yeah, that makes me happy. His misery.
Let's punctuate this hour by getting Amin's top 5 Week 1 NBA observations. This has got to be good here. Let's see what we've got here. Do we have any OLI, or are we just going to start with number 5?
Yes, we got one OLI, which is that Steph Curry is old and he should retire, and he's awful, and the Warriors in trouble. Oh, wait! No, they're awesome, and he's awesome.
Jimmy Butler's shooting 57% from 3, and he's got a game with 14 of those attempts and 16 of those attempts. So that's how his game is going to age. They're going to let him shoot threes over there like he's Klay Thompson.
Pablo Larson had 17 points last night.
Number 5, Victor Wembanyama is a lot better than we thought he was going to be, even though we thought he was going to be awesome.
They're 4-0 here. The Spurs, how good are they going to be? Are the Spurs going to be top of the conference good?
Not top of the conference good. Not top of the conference good, but I thought they were going to be fighting for a play-in spot, and they were going to get it, and I'm like, I think they're going to be clearly above the 6th seed line.
Heat about to tag them with that first loss tomorrow, and I tell you what.
You know the Spurs have never started 5-0, ever?
Not going to this year either.
Isn't that weird?
Number 4, Zion is still hurt. Number 3, Amazon and NBC have come to save basketball.
We undercut that one for you by talking about it for an hour in the second hour of the show, right?
It's all good. Number 2, and this one's a big one, Dan. The Rockets. Maybe we bought a little too early on them. And the number 1 observation, Dan, from the first week of basketball. The Sixers might be better without Joel Embiid and Paul George.
That's crazy.
Not might.
That's crazy. Not might?
Not might. No. Not might.
For the first time in about 6-7 years, you can watch a Sixer game that doesn't have Joel Embiid in it and be like, I kind of like what I see.
Let's do a brand new segment, Zaslow's Daily MVP nominee.
of the day.
If we're talking MVP, Tyrese Maxey needs to be in the conversation. 39 points and 10 assists last night. The Sixers come from behind once Joel Embiid went to the bench. Sixers come from behind, win in overtime. Undefeated Maxey. He needs to be in the conversation.
Back-to-back days.
Back-to-back days for him. That's huge.
Reigning King of the Mountain MVP.
That is super strange.
That's the longest streak so far, Dan.
Greg Cody said yesterday that Philadelphia should change the name of its arena to the Maxey Pad, and that he will deny having said it, and that he will make sure that no one knows that that's something that he ever thought.
MVP of the day.
Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.